brands are deploying agentic across shopping, travel, customer support, and experiences. And I guess one of the most frustrating things is the experience that it provides. And maybe that's a context issue. Like they're getting smarter, like they're getting more intelligent year over year. Just 3 years ago, we couldn't get ChatGPT to put the right amount of fingers on a hand. Now it's like so lifelike, at least with generative AI, like you can't even tell anymore. So they're learning, they're getting better, they're getting smarter. But in terms of like how we communicate with them, sometimes it loses the ability to understand the context in which we speak and they understand differently. What can you kind of tell us about that context problem and maybe how you guys are also kind of tackling that?
Yeah, that's great. That's exactly my point. I didn't use the word context, but you summarized it really well. The difference between a successful agent and an unsuccessful agent is context. And so we treat context in two ways. The first form of context is before the conversation started, what happened. So, for example, most companies are launching a digital agent, and there's still some app or web, behavior stuff. Like I went in, I searched, I loaded, and all of a sudden here's the agent. We have found in our customers that the context that of all the things I did before the agent conversation started, if I have to reload that into the agent conversation because it pops up and says, what can I do for you? And I just spent 5 minutes doing all that work. And now the agent's here and I got to start over. Up to 3 minutes of the agent conversation is just me resetting that context. Now you're wasting consumers' time. So the first form of context is everything that happened before the conversation started. But there's a second form of context, which is the behavior context I mentioned a minute ago. How you buy and how I buy, completely different. And I'll summarize it in two very big macro segments. One is a transactional shopper and the other is a research shopper. You and I could be looking for the exact same product. But if you're a transactional shopper, your expectation is I'm going to get in, I'm going to buy this, and I'm going to get out. So speed is everything. So the agent has to be tuned to your urgency. Very same product. Somebody else comes along and I'm unsure. I'm wondering if I want to get that product. So I'm in research mode. The agent has to immediately know you're in research mode. And if I'm pushing you to get the transaction because I know the previous buyer was in a hurry and I push you, you're frustrated. But if I treat the transactional shopper with the research shopper patience, I'm wasting time. Like, let's go. I need to get off. I don't want to spend all this time. That's also context. The context of the behavior expectation is also what agents should know so that your experience is tuned to how you want to be treated. And that's the flaw in most agents today is they start off every conversation at zero. Hi, how are you? What can I do for you? And the second thing is every human is exactly the same. I'm going to take you through the same steps, which means you're going to make everybody frustrated because you're not meeting them where they are and how they prefer to buy. So there's two forms of context that are the difference between successful agents and what I would define as business impacting, revenue impacting agent experiences.